Do you ever feel overwhelmed just before you're about to take a short trip? Especially if you're a photographer or filmmaker like myself. Now, the biggest problem most of us have to deal with is, what gear should we take? What gear should we leave behind? Maybe it's just a small trip that you're taking that has absolutely nothing to do with your work, or you're just a hobbyist and you just feel suddenly overwhelmed with the gear that you've bought, the gear that you think you need, the gear that you think you should have, or maybe you're having some sort of creative block at the moment. Well, in this video, I'd like to dive in and suggest maybe a few things that you could take, not take, maybe disregard, maybe just get it to the bare bones of really what might inspire you. Sometimes I think the less gear we have, the more we have to play with. This is a great time to slim down and start thinking about, and consciously thinking about gear and whether we need it or not. So let's have a look at my bag. I've got a trip coming up and I need to decipher what gear I'm going to need and what gear that I shouldn't take. Stick around to the end of the video and I'll show you what I also bring in my bum bag. I just can't fit everything into my camera bag, and there are some extra things I do want to take. So stick around to the end of the video and I'll show you exactly what goes in this thing. Now, the first thing I want to mention is obviously the main bag that I'm going to take for all my camera gear. I bought this a couple of years ago now. It is the Wondered Provoke 21 litre. I bought this particularly for the reason to travel with. Obviously, we have just come out of a pandemic, but for short trips, this has been a fantastic, brilliant camera bag because it's sectioned so well. And what is great, which a lot of people have noted, normally what you have to do to open the bag is pull the arms back and then unzip it. But this is different. You can go straight round without having to. Sometimes though the top handle gets in the way. What we have in here though is a lovely camera cube where you can put all of the sections that you need. Camera, lenses, accessories, all in here. In this top bit, I like to keep, this is where I'll keep my clothes. This is where I'll keep everything that kind of non-camera related. And if there's extra stuff that I need, they can go in there as well. I don't like to take too many clothes when I travel. I do like to keep things very minimal. And this is what the video is about, is becoming less overwhelmed when taking a trip. Cut and minimize it down. Make it concise, make it easy, make it fun. So this is a great bag. It's very hard wearing. It's got a good front pocket. You can bring your laptop if you need. A place where you can put your passport or any other accessories in the back here. Right at the bottom here is a zip. It's not completely weather sealed, so you have got a raincoat for your bag. Quick access kind of opening here to grab your camera. They've really thought about everything with this bag. Also here there's a SD card holder. It's got loads of little features that are fantastic. Just one here, tiny little pocket, but what's really good is there is a little hook where you can put your keys on. So if you're someone who loses their keys a lot, essential. So overall, this is a fantastic bag. I think this might be version 1 and there might be a version 2 or 1.5, some people are calling it. That's out, but not a huge amount of difference, I don't think. So yeah, this is the bag I'm going to use. So for my upcoming trip, this is what we're going to pack in. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the gear I'm going to be taking with me when I take my first trip in 2023. So the first thing I am putting in my camera is the Fujifilm X Pro 3. Now I haven't had this camera long, but so far so good, and I will be doing a little video on this soon. I've got the 35mm f2 lens on there, one of my favorite lenses. I made a short YouTube video on that, which you can go to here. This is a fantastic lens. This is a fantastic pairing. So far so good. I think this is going to be with me for a while, and fantastic for taking on small trips. It's such a good looking thing as well. Shoots 4K 30, so if I want to do video as well as take photographs, that's in there too. So really good camera. Excited to start playing with it more. So this is the first thing that goes into my camera bag. As I said, it shoots in 4K 30, and what better lens to pair with it, especially if you're keeping everything minimal and small, is the 18-55 kit lens from Fuji. Now, why I say this is perfect for video is because it has the optical in-body stabilization. There is no in-body stabilization in the X Pro 3, so this will stabilize some of my footage if I choose to film. Also, it's a very compact lens, and if I want a little bit more focal length, you know, it's a zoom lens. It's perfect if I want to be able to just grab something that I just can't reach with the 35mm. And so this definitely goes in my bag. There will be the only two lenses that I will be taking with me when I go on my first trip. So the next thing I'm going to take in my travel bag is a Rode mic. The Rode mic is basically just to get some of that excellent outdoor atmosphere, some great Foley, because obviously the internal mics in mirrorless cameras are so if they could sort that out, that would be great, but they haven't, and I don't know any camera that has good internal microphone systems. So I'm taking the Rode VideoMic Plus. So the next thing I'm going to be taking is this small little bag from Lowepro. I think this came with my bigger bag that I have. So basically what's in this bag is all my leads. Everything that I need to charge my camera, my mic, everything that I'm going to be taking that needs boosting, iPhone, etc. is going to be in this bag, because I just know that everything stays in there and goes perfectly in the cube. I've got a tiny bit more space, as you can see, to fit in a couple more kind of objects. Now, I don't know what this is called, but anyway, this thing basically is a must to make sure that all the dust, changing between the 35 and the kit lens, you're going to need to just keep constantly making sure all your gear is nice and dust free, because you don't want dust on your sensor. Okay, right, I'm going to come back to this later at the end of the video and tell you what this is all about. Now basically that is the setup so far. You've got the X Pro 3 with the 35mm lens, the 15-18 kit lens, the wires, the accessories, all in this little bag. Microphone, I mean it's fitting in quite well, so I probably will keep that microphone, it's just a better quality. And this air blower to keep all the dust out. You've obviously got room for a laptop. Now I brought my laptop with me today just to give you a realistic showing of what you can actually fit in your camera bag. Now, you might not need it. I'm only going away for 2-3 nights, so it's not necessary. Let's put it in there. So obviously what comes with a laptop is a charger. Again, something that I don't think gets mentioned in some of these videos. You have to be thinking about how you're going to charge all this stuff. I've got a little bit of room just to fit this charger in. It's pretty rammed. That is it, I'd say, in terms of the cube. The cube is now done, so I can flap that over and pull this up. Oh, there's one more thing. SD cards. Again, how easy is it to forget something like that? Put that in there, look, that fits in just right. So I've got my setup. That is all I'm going to take. I'm going to do no more. So if I take any more, like I said, I get slightly overwhelmed. I know a lot of people suffer with this. It's a really interesting subject for me. I'm well on board with trying to keep things minimal. Everything I have said so far and will for the next will be linked in the descriptions, and hopefully it helps you make your decisions on what you're going to take. The last thing though that I may or may not take, and this is only because this is something that I've got into a lot in the last year. This is a water house for the DJI Pocket, first generation, and it is a pocket. I mean, look how small and tidy that little thing is. So I will put this into this water housing. The water housing can just go in the top there. This is quite encompassing, so I do have to think, and this is where this is where the overwhelming nature of packing your bag comes from, because I love to swim. And I love taking video and photos in and underwater, and this has become a very inexpensive way, because water housing, as some of you might know, is very expensive to buy. So I have found a little alternative, and I really loved using this. It's not the best quality in the world, but it's fun, and it's something I have got a lot of enjoyment out of. So I might take this, I might not. There is a lovely side kind of grip here to bring a small tripod, so I will probably do that. I haven't got my tripods with me today. I usually use the K&F Concept, and it also has a monopod feature, so ace. Now, the rest of the bag, I don't have any clothes on me, I'm in my studio now, but the rest of the camera bag will be full of clothes. But I'll just zip it up and show you how much room we can get out of this. There's quite a bit of room in here. The great thing is you can roll it down and it's really going to keep it really compact. I think this is a great bag. I've used it a fair bit already. I want to use it more because I do generally tend to use my bigger backpack for most of my work, but I want to keep things a little bit more simpler in 2023. I really do think that that will help my creativity, keeping things a bit more simple. Okay, so if you've made it this far, I'm going to show you what I put in this bum bag. Now, I bought this from Amazon. It's a fashion cycling bags is what it's called. I bought it a while back. It's pretty inexpensive, it's pretty cheap, but it's still pretty good and has been with me the whole of last year whenever I've traveled, and I'll link it in the description. You can see the choices they have on there. But let's go through some of the things I like to put in this bum bag. First thing is obvious. I think most people always, this is your AirPods. I can't live without these, as most people can, so they go in them, and I usually put them in the front. When traveling, I picked up a tip that because of dehydration, your lips get so chapped, so I always keep some lip balm on me, just because it's horrible having chapped lips, right? My next choice that goes into my bum bag is my Olympus MJU2. I've made a few videos on this. You can check one of them out here. This is such a good camera. As I've said in many videos, I've taken this everywhere with me and it lives in my bum bag. And I've got some Kodak Gold already loaded in here. However, I have another one here, which obviously you don't need the packaging, but I will deal with that later. And so to go with water hosting, I will also take my DJI Pocket, and this will live in my bum bag too, because it's almost spy-like. And I don't mean in a creepy way, I just mean it's so inconspicuous. I do really love this camera. The reason I haven't traded it in is because of the water housing. I love putting in that thing and going swimming with it. It is an inexpensive way to get cool shots under the sea. Under the sea. I always keep iPhone lead, that goes in there. Whenever you're at an airport and you're using your phone all the time, always keep that in there, essential. I keep a wallet with me. I know wallet's outdated, good backup to have just in case. And I also keep some cash on me too. So they are all the things that I keep in my bum bag. It really isn't too encompassing when having to travel around. Literally just goes over the top like that and I'm good to go. And also, and if I've got my Wandered Provoke 21 litre with me, that's all I need. So if I'm driving or getting on a plane, I do not feel like I have the world with me. However, I've got some fantastic gear and essentials that will help me capture my trip, not feel overwhelmed, maybe feel more creative in a way. In all of this, you could do something radical and hardly take anything at all. It's very hard for creatives to switch off, and maybe that's what you need. But in this video, I'm just trying to show you how you can minimalize, not feel so overwhelmed, and see if that provides a little bit of less expectation on your trip. Let me know in the comments what you bring with you on a trip, and I'd love to know what you think that I'm maybe missing, or maybe I could strip back. Maybe that isn't minimalist enough. So I'm really interested into this subject. Okay, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one.